Yo, so we often talk about systems, right? Even me. But now let's think about structure because I have been thinking about structure lately and I've been thinking about it differently. It was even the idea of systems that made me start thinking about structure. And so, yeah, thinking about structure and thinking about it differently. Here's where I've been going back and forth in my head. So, there's like systems that we build, right? When you think about your life and the type of life you want to live, who you want to date or marry, how many kids you want to have, what type of house you want to purchase, what type of car you want to drive, what type of vacation you want to take, how much money you want to have in your bank account. All of that is like systems that we build and live through. But for me, I always think about the space that I spend my most time, which is my job. And so that's like a system that you walk into. So there's systems we build, and then there's systems that you walk into. And for me specifically, I'm in sales, and that's at least 8 hours of my day at minimum. So it made me think, like, yo, some people actually spend energy arguing with the structure, right? And then some people study it. And so I think that when you walk into these systems that you didn't build, you just have to really start to, I don't know if you give yourself to the structure, but you kind of definitely at least need to understand the structure. That's the best way for you to actually benefit from something you decided to participate in, right? And what made me think about that was actually myself. So I was talking to a friend, and it's funny how you talk to your friend and in the midst of critiquing them, you start to critique yourself. And it's a friend, so you're not really giving critique, but you are kind of giving them feedback. But if you're introspective like me, you kind of start replaying the conversation as you say it, and then you think about yourself. And so my friend didn't want to go to this happy hour for whatever celebration they were having at their job for some big project they finished. And he hates going to any type of things like this. He hates going to President's Club. He hates doing anything extra outside of the 9 to 5. And I was pushing him, kind of nudging him to do it. Like, yo, you just got to play the game. Like, that's what happens when you work at these jobs. And he's just hell bent on not playing the game and letting his performance inside the job speak for itself. And I think that's a very idealistic way to think. It's just not many jobs that are like that anymore. Um, Specifically, when you're dealing with a job that's a little bit of personality and a lot of performance. Like performance is a lot of most of our jobs, but you got to have some personality. People want to be around people they want to work with. And so it made me think about myself and how I've also kind of gotten to a space of I don't want to do anything extra as well. And when I say anything extra, I don't want to commit to a growth track. I don't want to chase leadership positions as I used to in the past. And that's partly because of my experience in those leadership chairs. You get up to these manager and director levels, and now you're kind of like holding information or not telling full truths, you're telling half truths, and you're holding all that in your head while still trying to get the people that report to you to commit to the cause. And I don't know, that kind of it was kind of wacky to me. I've taken some laterals to avoid those, right? But man, it made me think like, hey, maybe I need to get back to moving differently inside the structure. You know what I mean? I'm not frustrated with the structure because I chose to play the game, and now I'm saying I don't want to play it. But just like my friend, he's choosing to not play the game in a different way. So I guess I feel still like I play the game to an extent that is satisfactory to everybody around me. But if I'm honest, the game to be played is to be played a certain way to get to a certain level. So maybe I'm not giving, even though I'm satisfying everybody, that's technically not the best way to play the game. I don't know. So I just been thinking about that. Like, hey, I'm not frustrated at my job because I chose this route. But let's say I did want to change my mind and start going up these leadership tracks again and trying to be one of these high potential leadership candidates and all that. Um, I don't want to be the person who's unskilled at moving inside the structure. You know what I mean? So I need to start at least committing again to being stretching myself somewhat in the structure. And maybe that's you too. Maybe you're not someone who is against the structure, but you just don't want to participate in it. But again, we signed up to work at these jobs. Sometimes you sign up for these structures. And maybe it's not a 9 to 5. Maybe you committed to your kids' Pop Warner, but now you're griping about going to the practices 4 days a week. And now your attitude is rubbing off on your child, and now they don't really want to go because they feel bad that you have to take them to practice, and now it's a whole thing. Now they're not showing up their best self at practice. Now they're not getting playing time. Now you're mad, et cetera, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's not about overthrowing anything. Maybe it's just about understanding the game well enough to play it. And I think I do play it well enough, but I am going to dig a little bit deeper, right? Because some of us are doing well at it, but you can dig a little bit deeper and get a little bit further. And the people who aren't playing at all, like my friend who does not want to participate in anything, just stick your toe in the water. Stick your toe in the water. I don't have any conclusion. This is just something I've been noticing. Like, hey, systems are system. I know that we have systems that we can control, but when I'm participating in a system that I did not build, then I kind of have to start giving way to the structure. So yeah, this is where I'm at today. Yeah, don't let the don't let the structure. I don't even have any words, man, to be honest. I'm gonna leave it right here. Yeah, no conclusion, man. Just something I've been noticing. Peace.